Day comes to an end. Night falls. Overhead, the stars resume their immemorial procession across the sky. Earth sinks away into darkness, and human beings, day-weary, sink into sleep. We enter that second world known to us as the unconscious. There to encounter the realities of ourselves in a disguised form. Dream experiences tell us what we fear, what we hope will happen, what we're afraid we might be like but cannot face, and what we would like to become. Some of our dreams are tragic and disastrous. Our fantasies of catastrophe. They are filled with terrifying shapes and faces. We waken, trembling, unsure of ourselves. But other dreams find us secure, on top of situations, and unconquerable. The philosopher-psychologist Carl Jung has told us that there are private dreamers, you and I, and collective dreamers, societies of people. In their stories, poems, folklore, all such groups project common fantasies. We call them myths. Dreams are private myths. Myths are public dreams. And one of the most universal, most significant of these private, public myths is the myth of the hero. Cultures, in all ages of history, have created heroes out of their basic dreams. And cultural dreams, like personal dreams, are sometimes glorious, sometimes tragic. There is the hero who symbolizes a people's greatness and indestructibility. In this myth, the hero faces impossible odds, but always triumphs, often with the help of magic. King Arthur was such a hero. Not only was he brave and daring, he was guided by the principle of self-sacrifice. What he did was for the good of others, never to advance his own cause. People need such heroes. They need to know that somehow there will always be that certain rare soul willing to risk everything, even life itself, for the good of the nation, the religion, the cause. Whether such heroes actually live or are the creations of myth makers scarcely matters. The important thing is what they do for a people or for the individual. Who does not wish to regard himself in the best possible light, to view himself as the central character in the world's most important story? Society, then, needs to create and believe in heroes to help establish its collective identity, to bring unity, a sense of order and purpose, a sense of direction. The individual needs heroes as models to help him discover and assert his personality. There is no greater calamity than when a society loses a hero, when a potential hero is shown to be all too human, or when the individual loses faith in himself. Yet this process is universal, and it goes in cycles. We do lose faith in ourselves periodically. We lose our way, our sense of purpose. The hero in us is lost. Society gives and takes away the hero's glory. No one really understands why this must be so, but the myth makers have realized it for a long time. There is, in fact, an essential human myth, one which appears in all cultures, in all ages of history. It is called the world myth, or monomyth. In this myth, the hero's mother is a royal virgin, his father a king or a god. The circumstances of his conception and birth are unusual, and at his birth, an effort is made to kill him. However, he is spirited away and raised by foster parents in a far country. On reaching manhood, the hero returns to his future kingdom. To gain his rightful place as leader or king, he must prove himself victorious over his adversary. He then marries a princess, and for a time his reign is one of justice and prosperity. In time, he loses favor with the gods or his subjects, and is subsequently driven from the throne and the city. Ultimately, the hero meets his demise, often on a mountain peak or precipice. However, his body is not buried. His memory is honored by future generations at one or more hallowed sites. Thus, society dreams of a hero, becomes frightened of his power, and comes to reject him, only to restore him once again to honor as a noble memory. The Greeks were especially rich in mythology and have given us many versions of the monomyth. Perseus, the hero who slew Medusa, and Theseus, who seemed so real that Plutarch, in his parallel lives of great Greeks and Romans, wrote of Theseus as if he had actually lived. To the citizens of Athens, Theseus was the living embodiment of the nation's ideals, the model of the fully realized individual.
Placed them there, Theseus. He swore me to keep his name secret until this moment should come. Now you must know. Your father is Aegeus, king of Athens. Once on his way from Delphi, he tarried here and loved me. He knew I would bear him a son. He said, when the boy is strong enough to lift this stone and possess himself of my sword and sandals, send him to Athens with these tokens, and I shall recognize him as my son and heir.
I knew it! I knew I was a king's son. Oh, Father, oh, King Aegeus of Athens, you need wait no longer for an heir. Mother, I wish to go to Athens at once.
I wish it too, Theseus, but you must take the safe sea route. There is an Athenian ship in the harbor now.
No, I must take the land route. I know it is beset with many perils, but so much the better. They only wait for me to overcome them. I mean to do great deeds. like my cousin, Hercules.
Unlike King Arthur, who belongs to a Christian world in which heroes were expected to exhibit not only courage and daring, but moral virtue as well, Theseus exemplifies the trait both admired and feared by the Greeks: pride. The Greeks, in their mythology, created heroes who rivaled the gods in bravery and ingenuity. It is as though the myth-makers were terrified by the grandeur of their creations. Recognizing that in the final analysis, human beings were limited by their humanness and were not gods.
12 mighty feats I'll do. My 12 labors. When I arrive in Athens, they'll hail me as a second Hercules.
Theseus arrives in Athens and is met by Medea, a witch who had helped another myth hero, Jason, to find the golden fleece.
Very well, stranger. You need not give me your name. I already know it. I also know why you are here.
She married Jason and bore him 2 sons, only to murder them in her anger when Jason left her for another woman. Medea had come to Athens for sanctuary and was scheming to become the wife of Aegis and Queen of Athens. Now she must prevent Aegis from recognizing Theseus as his son and heir.
They say you have great influence over the king. They say you hope to be queen. Have you an answer from the king?
Yes, the king will see you tonight before he dines.
Medea hastens to the chambers of the king and warns him that a stranger has arrived in Athens. A stranger who carries a sword hidden under his cloak and refuses to give his name. Reminding Aegis that she can read minds, she warns that the stranger intends to kill him. But the king can avert that destiny by offering the stranger a cup of wine, a wine prepared by Medea herself. Theseus is granted an audience by the king. The fatal cup of wine stands ready for him as Medea looks on. As Theseus is about to drink, Aegis catches a glimpse of the wondrous sword and knows the stranger to be his own son. Medea's evil plot is destroyed.
Men of Athens, Theseus is my son. You have heard me pronounce him my heir. Now my brother's sons, who have lived long in expectation of the throne, are risen in revolt against us. Already they have blocked the exits to the Acropolis. Will you submit to them, or will you fight for Theseus?
Theseus proves his might in battle. The revolt is quickly suppressed.
They're running! We've broken them! They're running!
But a new and greater challenge awaits him. Across the Mediterranean, on the island of Crete, dwell the tyrant King Minos and the Minotaur, a fierce monster who feeds on human flesh.
The maidens and youth chosen. The ship sails tomorrow.
I must go, Father. I must. You say I place the state in much peril with King Minos of Crete. I say that so long as Minos can exact a tribute of our best youth to sate his Minotaur, Athens is nothing. Father, until I kill this monster Minotaur and find a way to crush King Minos too, we shall never be free. This I promise. That black sail with its painted horns of Minos will never enter this harbor again. Look for a white sail when I return. That will be the signal of our victory.
Theseus is given assistance by none other than the king's own daughter, Ariadne, who has fallen in love with him.
I thought you summoned me to speak of love, Princess.
It is true I love you, Theseus, Prince of Athens. I loved you the moment I saw you standing before my father, resplendent, yet fated to die. But I cannot let you die.
What will you do, Princess?
Do not think badly of me, Theseus, that I betray my father. Here, this ball of thread. Take it and unwind it carefully as you make your way in the labyrinth. Never let go of it. And when you have finished what you must do, follow this thread back to me.
When I do, we shall flee together to Greece. You have done well, beautiful princess.
Take this ring also. Hephaestus made it. It lights the dark.
The magic ring is one of the most universal objects found in myths. But the Minotaur itself is probably the most popular element in the myth. What is it that the legendary monsters do to our imagination, to our very souls? Is it that we must believe in something unknown, even if terrifying? Is it that we must keep the door of our deeper selves slightly ajar, hearing strange sounds from cavernous shadows, anything, so that we'll know there is more than the monotonous world of everyday reality?
Is that a ship?
The old king, awaiting the return of Theseus, is blinded by the sunlight and cannot see the white sail of victory. The boy who attends him, also blinded by the glare, mistakenly announces that the sail is black.
What color are its sails? Are they white or black?
It is black.
Oh!
For 12 years, I have been king in Athens, blessed with the best friend any man ever had. Pirithous, with your help, I have made Athens a strong and prosperous state. I have gathered the people into dens, built strong walls and gates for the city. I have given the Athenians laws and established courts and officers. On land, our enemies have all been defeated, and Crete is fallen. In battle, I have won the beautiful Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons, for my bride. Now, you too seek a bride, a queen. But you covet Persephone, Hades' queen. This venture, my friend, is full of peril. To go down to Hades and come back alive with Persephone, too. That is work for the gods, not men. Still, with stout hearts, we shall do it, my friend, we two, ever together. And if, O men of Athens, we do not return, then let sacrifices be made to the gods, so our way may be eased in the underworld.
Ten years later, Theseus returns and is rejected by the Athenians.
He'll get no welcome here. 10 years he left us to fight our enemies alone. We do not need him now. We need no king.
10 years in Hades, they say, and Pirithous is held fast there for his impious attempt.
Theseus, we need no king. It is the people's will that you leave Athens.
Yes, leave. Yes, leave. Leave.
Very well, citizens of Athens. If you have indeed learned to govern yourselves, you have learned well. I shall trouble you no more with my presence. In Skyrus there are lands that belong to my father. I shall go to King Lycomedes, my father's friend, and claim my inheritance. It may be that exiled in that pleasant island, I can appease the gods and find peace. Do not forget me. Do not forget me.
Theseus comes to Skyros to claim the lands his father's old friend, Lycomedes, had been holding for him. The king is at first warm and friendly, and taking him to the top of a hill, he assures Theseus that it is all his. The vineyard, cattle, olive groves. He lightly touches on the fact that he never expected the old king to have an heir, that he had dreamed of passing all of this land on to his own sons. And then, treacherously, he pushes Theseus over the precipice, and the hero dies.
You men of Athens are fools. You pray for a hero to rid you of your troubles, which you make for yourselves. Will you not learn? Did you not once have the greatest hero of Greece and drive him out? And do his bones not lie unhonored and forgotten in Skyros? The gods are displeased. Hear their command. Go, seek the bones of Theseus. Bring them home. Give them an honored place in your city. And Theseus an honored place in your hearts. Then, and then only, will it be well with you in Athens again.
Once again, the hero is memorialized. Once again, his bones are enshrined, and he becomes more powerful in death than he was in life. He becomes a symbol of the greatness of his culture. Perhaps the secret to the monomyth is that only through death will such greatness come to pass. Death is the price we must pay for the good things life brings to us. It may be that the monomyth is humankind's way of accepting the fact of death. Whatever the reason, the appeal of the monomyth cannot be denied, and the need for heroes has never diminished. It is said that the age of the great heroes is long past, and that is why the old tales still involve us. But humankind appears to move in cycles. One doubts that we have awakened once and for all from the dream of the hero. It is more likely that we await the emergence of the next hero.